Let's go ahead and move on over and talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz. All right, man, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'm excited to talk about this. Let's go ahead and get this first one out of the way. Let's talk about the trade. Now, the Jazz traded John Collins to the Los Angeles Lakers for Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a second-round 2027 pick. What are your thoughts on the trade, AJ?
They moved him to the Clippers, right?
Yeah, John
Okay.
Collins went to the Clippers.
Sorry, I thought you said Lakers.
I could have.
Okay, so yeah, he moved to the Clippers.
It says Clippers in my notes. Could have said.
I'm sorry. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that my notes weren't messed up because I'm like, wait, did he go to the Lakers? I'm like, because that changes everything. Okay, sorry.
We're not that professional enough here. I could have said it. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Collins had just opted into his player option, which really, as soon as he moved to accepting his player option, you knew that he was on the chopping block, as if they haven't been trying to move John Collins for the last couple of years already. Like you said, they get Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a future second-round pick in this trade. Obviously, the Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson are mostly just to match salaries. Kevin Love's only worth $4 million a season. Kyle Anderson must make mucho more than that to match John Collins' $28 million contract.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. Did you see his tweet?
Yeah,
Kevin Love's tweet.
Yeah, I'd never thought I'd be a math problem or something like that.
Yeah, welcome to the NBA.
Yeah,
You've been in the league 18 years, dude. There's no welcome to the NBA in that one.
yeah,
But yeah, dude. I don't know, man. Obviously Love's gonna get bought out, right? He doesn't want to play here.
it's already rumored. I mean, that was rumored pretty much immediately as soon as he was traded here on a $4 million contract. You have no room for Kevin Love to ever step foot on the floor for the Jazz.
Not only that, I think the Jazz are a little burnt because he did block a trade here.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had a chance to add Kevin Love to a very early Gordon Hayward team, Gordon Hayward-led team, where he could have helped push the team over the edge and really made this team a legit threat in the West. And he said, "No, I don't want to. I don't want to go to Utah."
Yeah.
So he blocked a trade. So I think the Jazz are going to take that a little personal. And they're just like, you know what, we're just going to buy you out. You don't want to be here. We don't want you here. So he's going to be buy out. I honestly don't know if Kyle Anderson ever sees a Utah Jazz jersey. As a Rudy supporter on this channel, I'm pretty sure he got punched for a reason. So I'm just going to support Rudy Gobert on that one. And wouldn't be surprised if he ever sees a Utah jersey put on himself either. I don't know. So we'll see on that one. But what do we really get out of this deal? Obviously, other than getting out of the Collins contract, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you moved the Collins contract and you capitalized on any bit of value that he still had before he hit free agency, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever team is going to gets him for a full year under contract. They can move him as they please. Obviously not our issue now. I actually it's crazy because I was super excited for John Collins when we did originally acquire him. It was a salary dump move from the Hawks. They were just trying to get rid of him to move that massive contract. But I had so much hope for John Collins and what he could potentially bring. And he had...
I think that trade is what threw me for a loop in the first place.
Yeah, because we weren't in a winning now situation.
No, that was after the Rudy and Donovan trade. Yeah. So what were we doing? I mean, I know we got him for practically nothing. So wasn't that bad? Why was that even a trade we even made?
Yeah.
In my opinion, and this is something we've talked about at length of the show, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on it. But once you got rid of those two guys, Rudy and Donovan, that's when you sold out for everybody and you went to play young guys, develop young talent. You don't try to win and, bring in vets and kind of see what happens. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You clear the deck for these young guys and you move forward.
Especially because he helped us win games. That was the problem. You
last
brought him
year,
in and we got better. And you're like, oh, no.
He had a plus 11 when he was on the floor. And when you have a team that's trying to lose games, you don't want that on your team, AJ.
Absolutely not. You're scoring way too many points.
Yeah, so that frees up a lot of time for our young players to develop.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing we got out of this, other than the second-round draft pick, was the $26 million trade exception.
Yeah, which is huge.
That is huge. And it's not just for this season. It will be available to us going into next season.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the most important piece there. I think that's huge. I don't know, man. Although I've heard a lot of national talk about this one, how this trade, we got like a C- or a D+ from a lot of people saying on this one that we really didn't get anything. Honestly, man, as a Jazz fan, we just need to get out of that contract. We need to get out of that player. We need to free up some cap space. And we just needed some room on the court for these other guys.
Yeah.
That's really what we needed to do. And it was better than what we had to do with John Collins. We had to give up a second round draft pick.
Yeah, Colin Sexton. Absolutely.
Yeah, Colin Sexton. We got a second round draft pick on this one. So at least we're not trading away prospects for this one, So
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I mean, I love it. I think that moving out of that contract was really important. And I mean, you just, as a Jazz fan, got to remember the Jazz are not positioning themselves to win now. They're positioning for long-term contention in future years, right?
So gross. I hate that.
And John Collins was just not part of that equation in any way, shape, or form.
Ryan Smith, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Ryan and now Ainge Jr. Okay, you got to win one. Okay, you need to win one first before you start talking about long-term development of being a successful contender year in and year out. Your fan base needs to win one first. We don't care about a first round out team every single year.
Mm-hmm.
We've done that, been there, done that for 25 years for this franchise. We don't need to do that anymore. Don't tell me about this sustaining a long-term development. Just be honest. This is the only way that you're going to get the talent you need in this organization. Just be honest with it. That's what I want to see. Anyway, so pivoting on over with that trade, throws a wrench in what we talked about last week, which we all assumed it was going to be, he was going to be traded. So we didn't put him in our starting lineup anyway. But just in case, how does this change your starting lineup, if at all?
I don't know if it changes mine at all. I think the thing that changes my starting lineup more than anything is probably the way that Bryce Sensabaugh performed at Summer League this year.
Ooh, we're going to have fun on this one, dude. We're going to have fun on this one. But that's going to be for the next subject. We're going to get on that one. I still have Isaiah Collier as the starting point guard. Keontae George as the starting two guard. Taylor Hendricks as your small forward. Larry Markkinen as your power forward. And Walker Kessler as your center.
Yep.
And off the bench, first off the bench are going to be Bryce Sensabaugh and Walter Clayton Jr. For the guards. And then you have Flip for 4, Cody Williams at the 3, and Nurkic at the 5. That's what I have there.
Yeah, and I disagree with you. I think Ace Bailey's probably the first person off the bench if he doesn't start. If he doesn't start in...
Do I not have Ace there? I don't have Ace there.
You don't have Ace at all. You didn't even
I didn't put Ace. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not right.
Oh, my gosh. Ace isn't even playing anymore for Darren.
I would. I'm sorry. That's a change there. I'm going to put... Okay, that's wrong. That's wrong. Ace Bailey's going to be on there. Well, again, we'll talk about more of that in the next segment. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and pivot on over and talk a little bit about that. Before we get into that, let's hit some comments here because I want to get to it. I want to freshen out the palette, and let's clear that a little bit, okay? I'm so sick of the Jazz, man. Sell the team. Great take there, Greg.
Easy, Greg.
That already happened like 5 years ago. So, the team got sold, and, they're just still here. Accurate targets. Yeah, the Jazz.
Sell the Jazz to the Cubs
organization. I like it. Let's see here. We got also Pacific Northwest Ute. Jazz getting Love and a replacement in Kyle and Slow Mojo. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think Love touches the floor there, Pacific Northwest Ute, but I like where your head's at. We do need a Slow Mojo replacement because we miss Joe. We miss Joe. For
yes.
Sure.
Yes.
We also have...
Here's response. Brilliant.
Appreciate it. McKinley Cutler, thank you for joining, man. Appreciate it. Love to see it. I'm really impressed with Cody's improvement in the Summer League. Not enough to start him over Ace, but I like the look so much stronger and assertive. Yes, let's go ahead and do that. Great segue there to talk about that. Let's go ahead and pivot over it.
Yeah.
Now, the biggest talking point for everything, not only locally but nationally, was the first game of a head-to-head matchup between two top 5 picks.
Yeah.
Which was Ace Bailey versus VJ Edgecombe. Now in this game, obviously, and we're not going to run it over too much. I'm just going to hit the stats.
Yep.
VJ was 28 points, 13 for 27 with 4 assists, 10 rebounds on 30 minutes. He's plus 11 on that plus minus for that game. Ace Bailey had 8 points on 3 of 13 shooting, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal for a negative 12 on the plus minus.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be talking about the head-to-head pick on that and how obviously VJ Edgecombe dominated that. Before I move on to that and give you what I think on that, what do you think about that?
Well, I think if you're talking head-to-head, these two players play completely different positions, for one. So it's not like they were actually playing one-on-one versus each other.
Well, that's not how basketball works. That's always a comparison that people are going to make. In the
Absolutely. I think VJ Edgecombe is just ridiculously freak athlete. The kid is really a stud, and that's how you make it to be the number 3 pick in the NBA. His 10 rebounds were actually really impressive. He moved the ball up and down the floor very quickly. I mean, he dunked the ball with dominance multiple times. But that efficiency is just absolutely crazy, right? I mean, he was 1 for 7 from 3, so he's got some work to do. He's lucky because he's in a situation with the Sixers where he doesn't have to come in and immediately produce, right? You've got Joel Embiid and Paul George and Tyrese Maxey on that team. You can come in and be a piece that's off the bench, kind of get your bearings and get into the NBA a little bit easier, on a smoother transition. But at the same time, Ace Bailey's, I guess kind of pick your poison, right? Because Ace is coming into a situation, at that number 5 pick where you could be relied on, for your scoring, and you're going to need to come off the bench and be effective right out the gate. So kind of interesting to see, how different these 2 picks are.
Well, that's kind of what I want to talk about. VJ Edgecombe is in a situation where he is the number 3 pick. Would have been number 4. No way he was coming to Utah anyway. So Utah fans, don't worry about it. We were never going to get him in the first place. The only reason why he dropped to 4 is because Ace Bailey's draft issue. So the Charlotte balked on it and got with Knipple instead.
Yeah.
And so that messed with the lineup a little bit. So we were able to get Ace. We were never going to get VJ. So
yeah, he was gone at 3 regardless.
He was gone at 3 or 4. He was not going to make it to 5.
Yeah.
I think Ace Bailey was going to be 3. I think he had a good chance. I actually thought he had a good chance to go 2 if he actually worked out with teams. But I'm not going to go there because he fell to us, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
But what everybody's talking about is the head-to-head matchup. These 2 teams are completely different in Summer League, man. Right now, VJ Edgecombe looked like the man on the team he's supposed to be. He is the number 3 pick of the draft, a freak athlete, probably the best athlete in the draft this year. That was probably
that's not Cooper Flagg.
I would say he's better athletically than Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg is a better talent, has a better talent.
Okay, I see where you're coming from there. I could agree with that. Better athlete, maybe not better talent.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fair.
Cooper Flagg's a better talent, and he's got a better all-around, better IQ. But as far as freak athlete, I don't think you're beating VJ on anything.
Yeah.
This guy could have, picked a sport and been dominated, right? So, and he's playing on it, and he's playing with a bunch. There wasn't a single player on that team last night that literally saw more than 15 minutes a game of NBA time last year.
Yeah.
For Philadelphia. We'll have to check with our guys at JK Philly and find out about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one, that he was playing with a bunch of draftees and non-guaranteed contracts.
Yeah, a bunch of players that are up just signed on summer league contracts.
Yeah. However, the Jazz pretty much had almost a full NBA roster on their team that we had last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I
mean
Bryce Sensabaugh saw significant time in the season last year.
Isaiah Collier,
significant. Kyle Filipowski, significant minutes last year.
Yeah, so these are players that saw a lot of time last
even
year.
Elijah Harkless. Realistically, he was up on the roster for half the year last year.
Yeah, he got mostly garbage time, which let's face it, most of the team was garbage time the most of the year anyway. But
yeah, most of the season was garbage time, Darren.
Yeah, but but my point is he's coming into a much different team.
Yeah.
So that first game, I don't think there was any head-to-head matchup to really consider there.
Yeah.
I think, Ace Bailey, I think he said all the right things after the game, and I think he came into game 2, which is what I really want to talk about when it comes to Ace Bailey. So I think we need to put game 1 to rest there. Both teams were in a completely different spot. I think Ace Bailey did exactly what he was supposed to do, take lead from the other players on his team and learn to be a team player, which is what I love to see from a guy who basically pre-draft was talking nothing about else but wanting to be the star on the team. That might have just been coming from his team, not actually from him. So
I think so. I think it's a lot of
love that, dude. Absolutely love that. So whenever he's talking about, Ace Bailey's just he's not living up to the talk. I just don't think that was his talk. I like to see what he's doing, and that's kind of what I want to talk about, which is game 2 against the Grizzlies. 2 guards from the Grizzlies, from the Memphis Grizzlies, had 23 points. So not much more of improvement for what's been affecting the Jazz since the D. Will era, which is a lack of perimeter defense. G.G. Jackson led Memphis with 27 points. But this game, from what I saw from Bryce Hart, let's talk about Bryce Sensabaugh. You probably want to go into this. So, let's hear it, man. Let's hear your grazing on Bryce Sensabaugh for this game.
Yeah, Bryce Sensabaugh was just he looked exactly like he was supposed to in that game, right? He was a man amongst boys. He's played more NBA minutes than any other person on the floor at that point. He came out. He kind of commanded the offense. He is a little hesitant on I mean, not shooting the ball, but bringing the ball up the floor. I feel like he needs a little bit more confidence, just moving with the basketball. He gets to his spots pretty well, but for some reason, just taking the ball up the floor just seems out of his comfort zone. And he kind of struggled to get into his spots. He wasn't moving super well off the screens, but Bryce Sensabaugh he just looked great. He had a great game. He made shots when he needed to. And I mean, I was very, very impressed with Bryce Sensabaugh. I mean, that was exactly what we wanted to see out of him in that second game.
Sure. I'm going to throw some cold water on this.
Okay.
He had 37 points, 64% from the field, a blistering 67% from three. Mm-hmm. And that's not like he shot 3 and made 2, right? He made 9 attempts and made 5 of them, right? Like he was shooting very, very well. So his performance, astounding, right? However, a negative 12, which led the team in plus minus.
Right.
Negative 12. So part of that had to do with, I'm going to give him an out here. Part of it had to do with the fact that he had 6 personal fouls. In Summer League, you don't get kicked
10.
out. There's no limit.
No, you get 10. You're out after 10.
Oh.
In Summer League, yeah.
My apologies. David locked me down there in that one. I thought he said that there was no limit. So if there's 10, then I agree with you there.
Yeah.
So 6 fouls, not a big deal. But he did have 5 turnovers, which is not great. He also, when you're leading all scorers with 37 points and you actually have a double-digit negative plus minus, that tells you that there's the problem that Bryce Sensabaugh has, which if you're going to be a shooter and you're going to be an elite shooter, which I think he can be, right? Which he is. Right? This guy's a bucket maker, right? Yeah. He's got better size than most of the Jazz guards that we have on the team right now.
Yeah, at 6'5", he's good size, yeah.
The issue is his assists aren't high enough depending on how many turnovers he's making. He's fouling too much. If you have a negative double-digit plus minus when you're scoring that many points, that shows that the opposition is outscoring your team when you're on the floor by 12 points.
Yes.
So that is a very, very bad look.
So I can tell you why that number is so drastic. Because the reason that he had so many fouls is because he was actually playing really aggressively defensively, right? I mean,
which is what you want to see.
He was guarding up on people. He's reaching for the ball. He's getting steals. He had the game-winning steal to end the game. Before that crazy shot that came down and finished game 2. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah, it was great.
I mean, crazy. But when he was on the floor, a lot of time he was out there with Kyle Filipowski. Now, I don't know what Kyle Filipowski's plus minus ended up, but Kyle Filipowski is one of the worst defensive players that I have probably seen come through the Jazz organization in a really long time.
I want to talk about Kyle. I want to talk about Flip in a minute, but I want to get back to the Bryce Sensabaugh thing because I think what you're talking about is spot on here. The thing and that's my point, is I think the reason why he even played in the Utah Summer League is because he was tasked with, by the coaching staff, like, listen, dude, you want to be on this team, you need to improve on defense.
Yep.
And that's what I saw of that. I saw the points. I saw that. But the negative plus minus of negative 12, obviously, again, those points, those fouls do throw it off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But when you're that lead of shooting talent, guess what? Everybody in this league can shoot. You need to have something else. You're not a facilitator. You're not a passer. You're in year 3 with a bunch of draftee players right there. 37 points maybe might be excessive, but you should be a man amongst boys on that floor.
Yeah, which he was. I mean, Offensively, he was a man amongst boys.
Yes, but we need to see something other than you can shoot the ball. Yeah, and I think that's what the Jazz are asking from him.
And I think I actually did see that. I mean, I saw his pressure stepped up a lot. He wasn't just a revolving door. He was, he was actually playing defense, staying in front of people, applying good pressure as they're grinding through shots. I mean, he had one where he jumped up and, was really contesting a 3-point shot that he kind of got burned a little. The guy stepped him and stepped back on a 3, and he jumped up and, they called a foul and then reversed it because he actually played the ball clean. The guy missed a shot. So I don't know. I really like the effort that I saw from Bryce. I think, one thing you don't have to worry about so much is when you have better shooting talent on the floor, obviously it is much better to be it is much easier to be effective when you're on the NBA floor. So
yeah, but again, on the take away from that, Bryce Sensabaugh has been playing with a team that played mostly NBA games all year last year anyway.
Yeah.
But my point is I got some texts from friends who are basically saying I have a hard argument not letting Bryce Sensabaugh start. I'm like, look, dude, unless you're the starting shooting guard and we're not going to play Keontae and he's coming off the bench again, is that what you're going to do? You're going to start Bryce Sensabaugh over Keontae George?
I don't think so. I mean, there's a reason that Sensabaugh is playing in Summer League and Keontae George is not.
Yeah.
They were drafted in the same year.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, I'm like, pump the brakes, dude. He might eventually
Yeah.
be there. He might be the better talent between the two. I honestly think Keontae has the potential to be great.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen it yet. So I don't know. I love to see him. I love to see the effort, but yeah, we definitely need to see him efficiently on some of that. Same game, switch to Ace Bailey. Now this is something more than I want to expect out of him. Ace Bailey shooting 50% from the field, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 60% from 3 on 5 attempts. You'll love to see it, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And Ace played really good. He actually chose his spots really well. He had one of his 3 points had a really quick release on it. Caught the ball chest high, just fired it up. It was nothing but net. It's great to see that offensive prowess because we're going to need that from Ace this season, right? He does. His defensive energy is a little bit spotty. He's not, sometimes he's in there, sometimes he's not. He does put a lot of energy into rebounding, though. I mean, and some of those putback jams, catch the ball 2 steps from the hoop and he just goes up and slams it down hard. Like, you love to see him just putting the ball in the basket with authority in some of those spots, especially as a rookie, and it just kind of shows his confidence. It just gets you more and more excited about Ace Bailey, man.
I'm excited about Ace Bailey. I think more the next game, dude. More in the next game.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely what you're going to see. You're going to see this talent continue to develop in this system. He took the first game to figure it out. Second game, he's right in there shooting 50% from the field, 18 points, 3 assists. I mean, come on, man. Like, what much more do you want? Actually, I will say this. I'm actually not as impressed on that one as I am about the next player, which I want to talk about, which also had 18 points in that game. Your boy, Cody Williams.
Yeah.
Cody Williams, 18 points, 100% from the line, by the way, 5 for 5, which gave him a plus-minus of +6.
Yeah.
Which was the highest of all the non-guards for that game, which is super awesome, man. There was a comment in there earlier there. I can't remember what it was from. Was it Pacific Northwest Ute? I can't remember who said it, but yeah. I think it was Pacific Northwest Ute talking about
a bunch of comments to read too. Damn.
Yeah, talking about him, but correct me if I'm wrong on that one, guys, in the comments.
I think it was actually McKinley.
Oh, McKinley, yeah. So McKinley was talking about that. Dude, the boy put on some weight, and he is playing much better in this game. He's still a little slow.
Yeah.
Still having some defensive issues there. He's not really helping the helper, which I think is something I want to talk to you about Flip here after that. But I was really impressed because he actually had a higher plus-minus than Ace Bailey, who had a +2, and this one was a +6 because he was so efficient from the line. Really excited to see Cody Williams' development over the year.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Williams needed to put some weight on. He's still got to work on that lateral quickness. He's just not fast enough for as long as he is to be super effective defensively. And you need him to have Taylor Hendricks type lateral speed for him to see significant NBA time, right? He does shoot the ball well. He has great touch. I mean, I think he's got all those tools that he needs besides that lateral quickness. I'm sure the Jazz have very quickly identified that, and I'm sure they're working to improve his lateral quickness and defensive ability.
He's available for consultants.
I'm more than happy to consult.
At DNASportsRecap.com.
Yeah, I was going to say at DNASportsRecap.com. Reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know. But yeah, dude, I think it's super awesome on that, and it is huge to see that. And I honestly, I have not been so excited about from a year 1, year 2 development that fast from a player like I saw there. I was super excited about that because he had one of the worst seasons for a lottery pick rookie player.
And he just looked really out of place most of the season, right?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't doing anything bad, but he wasn't doing anything good either. Like his minutes were, if I would have just watched the season and not looked at anything statistically, I would have guessed that Cody Williams was a net 0 the whole season. Like just because he didn't hurt the team, but he didn't help the team at all. He was just out there taking up minutes.
Just a body on the floor.
Yeah. I mean,
speaking of about a body on the floor, Isaiah on the second game went 5 for 5, 5 assists, 5 turnovers for a -7 on the plus-minus. That game, dude, he had 15 points or 13 points, something like that. The stat sheet won't show it, because he had some decent stats. But honestly, when you're watching the game, it looked like he was kind of playing some selfish basketball.
I think he was playing like he was above everybody else, right? Like those turnovers were not good ones.
Yeah.
It was like, I've got a guy in the corner, he's got a guy one step off of him. I'm going to sneak a pass to him. Like, even if you can get by with that in summer league, you're not doing that in the NBA, right?
No.
You're just not making that pass. And I get having confidence and finding guys that are even remotely open. And in the NBA, a player can probably get a shot off that quick. But also in the NBA, a defensive player is going to get in that passing lane every single time. So I hope Isaiah kind of, watches that film and sees kind of where he missed some of that stuff and just learns, to have players, call for him to take 2 steps towards you, because that pass is just fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Isaiah is a freak though, man. I mean, that dude is
the guy's great on passing.
His vision is insane.
His vision is insane. He's defensively lacking. Has some issues with 3-point shooting, which in the NBA, if you're going to be a guard, you got to be at least 35% or above from 3-point field. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. But I do want to talk about one more thing before we move on from the Jazz, and that's going to be Kyle Filipowski. I was chatting with my buddy Rich over text message. By the way, thank you, Rich, for bringing this up, because it's something I want to talk about. And so thank you very much for bringing it up. Kyle Filipowski is very much almost a carbon copy with a better jump shot of Enes Kanter.
Oh my gosh. That's actually kind of crazy. You're absolutely right.
Isn't it crazy? Because him and I were on the same wavelength on this one, because he said that. I'm like, exactly. He's going to put up 30 points he's going to put up 30 points on a game where they lose. And when he does put up a lot of points, his plus minus will always be in the negative, because he's a turnstile on defense. He lets more people blow by him than anybody else.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of it now. Some of it in the summer league has to do with the fact that there's not a lot of help to helpers. Some of that's on Cody Williams. Mm-hmm. Some of that is so there are players there that don't realize that when he cheats over to help do some help defense, you need to be able to avoid the back pick there and jump on that. And some of that just has to do with the talent on the floor. But oh my gosh, man, I have not watched a guy play worse defense on a team in a while since Enes Kanter, which I believe is almost a perfect comparison to that guy.
It's like the ball moves and he has no idea where it's going. You know what I mean? Like they pass the other side of the court and he's just like it takes him 3 seconds to process that it's on the other side now. And by the time he processes that it's over there, they've already passed it again. And he's just like, oh no.
Right. And
they're going to score.
In his defense, Enes Kanter was a number 3 pick, and we got him in the second round. So we got some time to develop this kid. We're not exactly.
Ennis Cantor was also like 18 when we drafted him, and fresh out of the highest European league level of play, and he was. And Kyle Filipowski played college for like 3 years at Duke.
Yeah, well, that's true. Also true. But yeah, well, I don't think they really need to play much defense over it, to correct me if I'm wrong. I guess you don't need to when you have Cooper Flagg on your team.
Well, he didn't.
But he didn't, exactly.
Yeah.
So he was a year before that. So I don't know, man. I have to agree with that assessment. I do think that he's very much an Enes Kanter type player there, where he's basically just kind of not playing defense, which is something he's going to have to fix. You can't be a backup big in the NBA, especially on the Utah Jazz, and not play defense, dude. That's just not going to happen. He's got to figure it out.
Totally agree.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. When it comes to the Utah Jazz, we did just launch a channel for your Utah Jazz called the Utah Jazz DNA. All of our Utah Jazz content will be posted here first. So if you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, a link to Utah Jazz DNA will be in the description down below. Be sure to check it out. Join the conversation, jump in the comments, all that good stuff. Drop a like, subscribe, hit your notification bell on that so we can chat with you more on that.